Hello, Facebook friends and family. This is also a bit on astrology. I was searching ahead into the week, um, next week, May 13 through 17 in particular, but you can figure a day before and maybe up to three, maybe five, but definitely 3 days after the 17th, that Jupiter will apply trine to the Earth in the heliocentric sky as seen from a Magi, that's M-A-G-I, astrology viewpoint. So we're looking at a very um, Jupiter, a strong Jupiter period of days next week. So in a trine, it's its most dynamic positive flow possible between two planets. So Jupiter applying to Earth can oftentimes be a time where people are doing natalizations, Natalizations, and natalizations that have to do with birthing something new. You know, making born something new is another way to interpret that. So signing a contract, a business contract, doing a wedding, you know, signing the marriage license and actually having the wedding and getting married, for example, and that's assuming that all the other chart factors agree, including in the general sky above on those days, which they may or may not agree. It may or may not be the best day for that because we don't only look at the most positive aspects we can get on a date for natalization using astrology, but we also look at the negative factors and try to avoid them, but yet get the dates that have the best, strongest, positive astrological aspects. Because the idea is that that's embedded, that energy, that astrological energy, that planetary energy or astro body energy is embedded into that endeavor that you natalize, that you make born, that you make new on that date. And when it comes to weddings, those are the most important thing. You know, a marriage is the most important thing in your life that astrology can be used for. And it also sets up a progression. So having a strong progression, a strong positive astrological progression set up in the chart is important too for natalization. So next week, some people with certain types of activities, depending on the other aspects, other planetary aspects involved, might find it very positive for certain types of endeavors. I haven't studied the rest of that sky as of yet, but I have studied the Jupiter trine Earth that is applying, and that's just, you can't get better than that as far as peace, luck, prosperity, good fortune, everything that represents Jupiter. That type of energy will be very strong next week, especially from the 13th through the 17th, but possibly all the way up till May 20th. So that's something to keep in mind. In setting up a progression into whatever it is you natalize, of course you're wanting to do the same concept in terms of not setting up a progression of something bad like I had done before I knew about Magi astrology. I got married on a date that was Saturn opposition Chiron, and that was, even though it was a very strong date astrologically, it was a heartbreak date, and that was before I knew anything about Magi astrology or anything about Chiron. I used a very good, world-renowned, world-known Vedic astrologer who had done Vedic astrology for the government of India and for the royal family of India, and also wrote earthquake predictions and other predictions in some newspapers here in the U.S., for example. So he was great, and it was a powerful day, but it was also a heartbreak day because Saturn was opposing Chiron on the day that we married, and it also set up a progression of heartbreak because it existed for several days after the marriage, which in astrological theory, the theory of natalization, it set up a progress chart of heartbreak as well. So that's the thing that you want to avoid in a wedding date or a business partnership or starting a new business or taking on a new job, or even if you're into the health stuff. I'm not a doctor. I don't give medical advice. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't give medical advice. But if you were going to start a new exercise routine or a health routine, for example, health protocols or whatever, you may, if you're going to try to use astrology, look for something like a Neptune trine Earth or a Neptune trine Sun. That would be the theory behind natalization for things that are ruled by Neptune, which is often considered the healing and health professions, doctors, also health, but a number of other things as well. So again, this is just for entertainment purposes only, and I'm talking about astrology, and I'm specifically talking about next week, the astrology of Jupiter. So there's really a string of nice days coming up. It is said that Napoleon would declare war on days of Jupiter trine the sun, and then throw a spear into the ground, and that's how he took and conquered in so much land. So let's hope that doesn't happen next week, right? But it is considered the best of luck, and that's why wedding dates and other important natalizations, contracts, and things like that sign and done on Jupiter trine Earth or Jupiter trine Sun days. The idea is to get free of as many negative astrological aspects as possible on such dates for natalization, and to set up the best progressed chart or progressions possible. So that's one of the deepest and most important and most forefront secrets of Magi astrology, or astrology in general, but also of the occult, or which is what I say occult, that means hidden, suppressed, or secret knowledge, but still used by popes, presidents, and governments and royalty today. So why not you? And it's just an astrological heads up from Reverend Dr. Michael Vanderpool, intuitive astrologer. Be sure to check me out at http://universalstar.gs, and you can check out my eBay store at OMSH Books and Services. Thanks for watching, and you can do your research, check out the Magi Society websites, and a big thank you to the Magi Society for providing those websites, books, materials, and the best astrological software in the world. Enjoy. That is some of the most powerful knowledge that has been used throughout the ages. It's worth knowing about. It's worth using and applying.